You're listening to the Daily Nugget. It's dnugget.com for Tech Thursday. It is August 1st. We've got our star cast as always, Andy, Sam, Janelle, and a surprise guest, my own flesh and blood, my older brother, Christopher. Welcome.
Welcome, Chris. We are so glad you're here.
He's a man of many words.
This is where you talk, Chris.
Thanks for having me.
Are you on Mars right now? Because it looks like there's some different life forms behind you. I don't understand.
Mostly artificial. This is mostly robots here.
Okay.
Nice.
I like it. You got Wally back there. I see R2-D2.
When AI takes
Magic
over,
carpet.
it's a good thing to be on their side to let them know you're a friend, you know.
Now, Jen tells us, Chris, that you have always loved technology and you think you can tell us about what the future of technology looks like. Predict the future of technology for us on this Tech Thursday.
Give us
Well, to back up
Okay.
just slightly, he has been doing predictions his whole life.
Oh.
And so as his younger sister, to back up and give some backstory, he's a very futuristic thinking person. He naturally thinks like that, which is great. However, when he comes to you and says, in the future, there's going to be this thing that you can game on where there's two screens, which then became the DS, I was like, great, what do I do with that information? You know, like, what do I, that's okay, we'll see.
Get excited for it. That's what you do.
I guess.
What other predictions, Jen, what other predictions did he say when you were growing up that you go, oh, that actually happened?
Well, he reminded me of one today. You want to tell him?
Well, the iPhone back in the Palm Pilot days, that was kind of obvious.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the iPhone.
AirPods, type of thing.
Well, I remember Andy had this Palm Pilot phone. It was gigantic. He called it Phonezilla.
Yes!
Like,
it was black and white even.
On a small child, you would have killed them.
It was black and white. It had a stylus. Yes.
I remember that thing, and it was a green and black screen like the old Apple II. And
we got to find that. Picture of that.
I know there's a picture of it somewhere. I've seen it. I might have one too. Yeah, I remember Andy refused to not use the phone. So whenever there was an opportunity for him to use it, even though it took 10 times as long to do it, he would do it on his phone.
And I remember it also had you could use the internet on it, but you had to, it was like you were using dial-up. You actually had to dial up.
The dial-up, I remember. Because, like, I was just like, oh, it's like a 56K modem. He goes, not that fast.
Okay, so other technology that you predicted, Chris.
So more recently, we've been doing lots of 3D printing, so it was pretty clear that we were going to get some there's like this correction loop right now. It basically remembers how to make your model, whatever, and then it just like prints it blindly. It doesn't have vision to check its work as it's going, and that's kind of like essential for it to but when I was working on Wally back here, I woke up day after day with a big pile of spaghetti in the morning on this 3D printer because it didn't know any better. It didn't know that it made a mistake and that kind of ripple effect. So, and now that's a thing. So that we have AI vision watching the print and it will adjust on the fly to keep it.
Now, AI is rapidly getting scary good at stuff.
Just NVIDIA.
Yeah. Just before this episode, we previewed perhaps the new theme song to Daily Nugget, which we threw to AI.
It's history making.
It is. It's way too catchy. So, Chris, I want to know from your standpoint, where is AI going, and is that the thing that we should really be thinking about, or is there something that is past AI that you're already thinking about that you think is coming?
So AI is basically a key that can unlock abundance. Right now, we've been like in a scarcity-based economy, scarcity mindsets. But if you have unlimited labor for free, you basically that drives prices down on all the things that take labor until basically everything's effectively free for the most part. And imagine a world where you spare no expense when you're building.
Huh.
I did see, I don't know if you've seen this, I did see a video, I should find it, about the first 3D printed houses.
Oh yeah, I've seen those. That looks awesome.
What?
I gotta show you, I gotta show you this because it's like a giant, it looks like the machine they used to print it, it looks like one of those road construction machines.
Yep. And then the house looks like it was made out of the Michelin Man.
Yeah, the aesthetics are not great, but
you can plaster that.
I suppose, you know what. Listen, I've destroyed so much of houses. You can always spackle. You know, a little spackle goes a long way. So
I've always wanted to live in an igloo. Could they do that?
They were focusing on speed on that print, so they were definitely pumping it out fast. They can do it really precise if they wanted to. They were just trying to max out the speed.
Well, I think so far hearing you, Chris, it is obvious that you are far more intelligent than anyone else on this podcast.
Yes. Well, that doesn't take much, at least for the guys.
Well, I have a question.
You're the most intelligent guy.
I have a question. Christopher, are you AI? I just want to know that.
I get that a lot, actually. Like, you could ask me for an idea. It's true. I just did a small paper on consciousness, and I'm starting to wonder myself now.
Oh, boy.
Oh, so you're like the people that believe that maybe we're in the Matrix? Sort of thing.
That's one of the possibilities.
That's
so another one of those keys is the metaverse, and that's kind of like once you get to a point where it's imperceptibly identical to reality, you start wondering, have we done this before? That's one question.
I do that whenever I walk into a room, but I think that's just because I'm getting old.
I've done this before. Also, why am I not wearing pants? I'm an old man. I forget things like that.
I thought my keys were in my pocket, but I'm not wearing pants.
Oh my God. You know, of all things we could have predicted, I couldn't see that coming.
Awesome. Well, you've given us some things to think about, Chris. If you have any other comments, I found a video of the 3D printed house, which is kind of crazy.
It's really cool.
It's
the way
pretty cool technology.
How fast it gets done.
They've 3D printed cars. Their computer boards. They're going to be able to. Right now, they build the parts, and then the robot assembles it too. But eventually that'll all be done in one go.
Yeah, see, look, it looks like the Michelin Man.
Yeah. Well, look at that. It looks like a giant, like a road construction machine or something that would pave the road.
It looks like a cake.
Wow.
Just layers of cake.
See, now I'm hungry.
Man, we've been talking about food a lot today.
And I just ate a block of cheese and I'm still hungry.
I have a hankering for cheese.
Speaking of food, they do have a 3D printer on the space station now to print pizzas and things so they can have more variety in their diet.
What?
That's cool. I'm not eating 3D printed meat from Bill Gates, though.
Here's the technology I don't know why they don't have yet, Chris. So you can do, if you go to a movie theater, you can do the 3D experience and everything. Why don't they have smell-o-vision? That's what we're missing.
They do.
They do.
There's an add-on for a VR headset that gives you smell.
Dude.
Of course there is.
How have I not heard that? Dude, Andy and I play a mini golf game on VR together all the time. Walkabout mini golf.
It's a great game.
Super fun. Imagine that in the candy course.
Oh yes.
The chocolate one at night with all the music.
Boom, boom. It's really awkward when we mini golf together at night in the dark chocolate land.
That one's hard too.
It is.
It sounds like a first date.
I mean, let's be honest. There's a number of things Andy and I have done together that could be considered a first date.
Well, Chris,
Getting weird.
Yeah.
so VR, do you think that's still the future, or is that kind of dumb? Because I know they tried to make it cool. Apple Vision didn't really take off.
Well, that's because it's AR, technically, isn't it? And
The biggest,
expensive.
go ahead. The biggest thing is they're trying to get the price down and the form factor to be a popular form factor. The size is getting a bit smaller and smaller. I've seen the finished result. It'll be out in a couple years. It's more like thick rimmed glasses with AR, and then it should take off. I think as long as the price is reasonable and there's somewhere worth going. So that's one of the big things holding VR back, is that there's nowhere worth going in them yet. Like, we need a true metaverse that we can contribute to, and it just gets more valuable over time that way. And yeah, go ahead.
Do you think Elon Musk's Neuralink is going to have something to do with that?
It does, yes, I do. At minimum, audio. We already know it can do that. So, like, you don't need earbuds. You can just play the audio in your head. But the brain's so unknown. We don't know what the limits are, but they are already working on vision. But it's low res. It'd be better to use what we already have optimized, which is this pathway from our eyes. So I do see that we may get implants one day. Contacts are already here. I did predict those. And glasses are the very next thing.
See, I don't know. Are we gonna get to a world where we just walk around looking like we're wearing snowboard goggles all the time?
Those guys look
It'll
like
be invisible.
morons.
It'll be invisible.
Oh.
Those guys just look like total morons.
Only because
it'll be small.
I mean, think about this though, Sam. Only because they're the only ones wearing them. If everyone was wearing them, that guy would feel like the moron because he's not wearing it.
I mean,
actually, they see each other. If they all had headsets, they could see each other without the headsets on. It would virtually recreate them.
That's crazy.
I feel like
that's like the Emperor's new clothes.
Yeah.
They're still wearing them. They just don't know that they don't remember that they are.
So
right.
I feel like I'm in a sci-fi movie right now.
Chris, have you watched the TV show Upload at all?
I saw the first couple episodes. Yeah.
Okay, what did you think of that and that idea of uploading someone's consciousness into, like the
metaverse?
Yeah, the metaverse, so to speak.
I actually used to think it was impossible physics-wise, but now I do see a way to do it with nanites. But that is like 100 years from now before we can even think about it.
So after
the best. What's that?
After the apocalypse,
or the paradise part. But
that's actually what heaven is.
There you go. We're actually I'm studying this biopath to like extending your lifespan, but the obvious one that I know will work is AI backups. So a clone of you, basically, of your will and way.
I would not want to clone me.
It's enough for one. It's one is enough. Okay, so Chris, I have a question. What do you do for a living? I'm to know all of this.
I'm a mechanical engineer for a living.
Okay,
but that's just to fuel my research.
Okay,
chemical engineer. I was going to say an engineer of some sort.
Okay, interesting.
That's amazing, Chris.
And he looks like a normal person. I mean,
that's his goal. He actually thought through what he wears all the time.
Yeah.
Wow.
So far,
tell them what they would find if they opened your closet.
This in a row, lots of them.
Oh, so you do the Steve Jobs thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's really simple.
Was that your inspiration to be like Steve Jobs?
I was very inspired by him. Yeah.
Okay, because that's what he did. He wanted to take out thinking about what to wear every day.
Yep. That adds up. And you only have so much willpower for each day.
So what other things do you just automate in your life like that?
Posting online. Now I've got that set up to automatically for each idea category. I have it automatically pull the latest things on that and post it for me.
All right. So can we follow you and your posts online? Now I'm really interested.
I am too.
Yeah.
Because
hope.org.
You being on this podcast for this episode makes it seem like we're an actual legitimate podcast that talks about
This is not.
that talks about interesting things.
This is the most
that we make fun of.
This is the most interested I've ever seen Andy and Sam on this podcast. They're just like, oh, yeah,
we are nerding out.
Rolling over there.
I'm nerding out every day.
I want to ask though. I mean, Chris has his closet full of, the same thing. Is that what is behind Janelle's curtains?
We'll never
Here's what I want to know. How do you tolerate that heavy sweatshirt in 100-degree weather?
I try not to get stressed out for sure and stay indoors.
Stay indoors.
Indoors.
Mm-hmm.
It's so good.
Now, like you said your day job is
Route 44 of ice all the time.
Nice.
Yeah. You said your day job fuels what you're building. Can you give a quick synopsis of what that is?
I'm researching the ultimate purpose of the universe. So I think that once we don't work for a living or work to feed ourselves, we're going to have a big, existential episode where we're going to start wondering what is our actual value? Why are we here? And so I'm trying to get ahead of that.
I would say we're already there, Chris, with a lot of people, especially, I would say COVID was it was the catalyst, because I can't tell you, so many people would tell me this, because I worked the whole time, and I think people just wanted someone to talk to, so they'd call me on the air on my show, and they would volunteer this information. They go, oh, well, I could work, but I'm actually getting paid more from the government to not work, so I'm just staying at home. And I think that really wrecked people. Maybe not realizing. I don't think they knew that work is so inherent in our lives, because even in the Garden of Eden, God gave Adam and Eve work in paradise, that people thought paradise was not working, but it actually is working.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I get the question a lot about the Wall-E problem, where if we don't work, what will we do? Sit around and become slobs? And I'm like, well, the first couple months, yes, and then we'll get bored and itchy to go do stuff and go find things to do for sure.
And the ones that don't will just rot and die. So,
well,
so if people want to, sorry, go ahead.
I'm hoping for the best.
So if people want to follow along with your findings, and as you find out more about the future, where do they go?
Hope.org is the easiest way. And there's a little Discord button on the bottom. That's how you get to my Discord, which is where I'm most active.
Awesome.
We'll put that in the show notes.
I think Chris should run for president. Let's elect him.
I'm too busy.
I mean, just to give an example of from Wall-E, that I'm pretty sure, when that movie came out, it was 15 years ago, Chris?
Yeah.
At least. And I mean, this is one of the screen grabs from it, and you tell me if this is where we are now as a society. Sitting on our chair, drinking, watching the screen.
Yeah. But our Earth isn't covered in trash yet. We've got plenty of time to get it right.
Well, and I would say this too, Chris, that I believe, just as we've gotten to this point, and every single time they've been worried about environmental and stuff, technology has come ahead of it and figured out solutions.
Yeah. The best example I love is when there was a story about where in New York, early days, they were worried about the manure problem and the increase of horses and how we wouldn't be able to survive the population growth and stuff like that. But then we came out with cars, and they didn't see
the manure
that.
problem's gone.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Well, we could talk forever. I think Jen and Janelle are going to fall asleep on us.
Episodes we've had.
I'm so excited.
Hey, you lost me and all the robot stuff, so I'm out. I mean,
most of the things we talk about could not enrich your life in any way. So this is at least different than that.
So I promise, I apologize. We won't do this again anytime soon. Just kidding. Actually, Chris is going to be on the next episode because we have to figure. Apparently, it's Chris in a costume? Question mark.
Something about that.
Yeah.
On the next
Also,
Nugget. Nugget@gmail.com. Let us know if this was too informative and if you want Chris to come back. Nugget@gmail.com.